while we take retired Colonel, if you can state your name for the record and then proceed.
Yes, my name is Colonel Retired Deborah M. Lewis, and I'm here as the chair of the Veterans Day Parade, which is happening on 4 November, and I'm speaking specifically for resolutions 300-17 and 301-17. So the first 3 minutes I'm going to use to set the context, and the last 3 minutes talking about the specifics of the parade.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I cannot go forward without acknowledging the public service that you do. Our parade is celebrating service, and public servants, people do not recognize the great risks that you face every single day, and the tough, I'll get emotional, the tough times that you have. You know, you see people at their worst and you see people at their best, but each day you come and you give so much. And the important kuleana that we all share on this island is never made more obvious than when tragedies, whether man-made or natural disasters, happen throughout the world. And we realize that we have to work together, and we truly at the parade appreciate your ongoing support. I've been the chair for 3 years, and you have been tremendous in helping us. And also tackling tough issues in the meantime, oh, by the way. And, and helping us, as we talked about earlier, rising up and working together so that we can keep everyone safe and healthy and productive. And you've already heard the details of some of the parade, the Waimea Parade. We all have the same challenges, but also the mass casualty training. Service doesn't just stop with easy times. Service begins with the tough times. And so in my experience in over 34 years in the military, and especially coming here with all the many ways that we help our community, I realize that you can't help and really meaningfully address issues at the level they're being experienced. And so the parade is a way to celebrate service in order to bring that community together and a large network of support, and together we can make a real difference. And since I've taken over, before I took over, we had about 30 units in the parade. Last year we had almost 80. And this coming year, we think we're going to have, on November 4th, we think we're going to approach 100. And we're going to have a whole lot more classic cars out there, which I hope others are listening. But I even chased a veteran down at the Target who was in a wheelchair and handed him one of our little announcements for the parade. And he told me that he didn't go out much because he was in a wheelchair. And I said, exactly. That's why we have tents along. You help us support with tents along Kamehameha so that we can have the wheelchairs easily accessible. And I actually have a picture of him with the governor who came last year. Just a huge, huge difference. And so as I move into the second part of the 3 minutes, I'd like to talk about the ways each of you, we just have our new handout. For this year's parade, we always have 3 Grand Marshals for the parade. The Grand Marshal this year are our Vietnam-era veterans. And it's amazing to think that in Hilo town we have about 45,000 to 50,000 people with that address. We lost over 58,000 people in that war, more than the entire population. And those, oh, by the way, who weren't actually in combat but were serving back home have these unseen scars as well because of the way that they were treated. And so we are recognizing and honoring our Vietnam-era veterans in a very special way as Grand Marshal, as a group. And we recognize that some gave all, but that many of them came back and served our country in ways to make sure that those who followed, like myself, were treated well during our careers in the military. And that would never have happened without that leadership. And one of the people I like to talk about, Jerry Chang, who you know in many capacities, he leads off with the motorcyclists who come out and are our own rolling thunder and wake the neighborhood up when we start the parade. But we organize our parade throughout the year in order to help make a difference every day, not just during the parade. But he comes out on his motorcycle, and I have to tell you, Helco provides their large garrison flag. It was positioned at the end of the parade, and at that time, the motorcyclists actually got off their vehicles, walked forward, saluted the flag in unison, and then walked over to the veterans in the tent to shake their hands and really appreciate their service. I mean, it was just one of those things you got choked up watching. So the ways that you can help continue to support is saving the date. It is not on the 11th of November, which is the actual Veterans Day. We kick off the week. It's always the parade is always the Saturday before, so next year it'll be the 10th. Mark your calendars for that. But we have it the week before. It kicks off a great week of celebration, and we reach out to, for example, our Vietnam-era veterans. They're also being recognized, and you can find that on our website, www.hivetparade.org. And that will have how they can sign up for the luncheon that's in celebration of them. You also can register at that website. We want you to continue to share stories of your service and watch or join or volunteer. I know that we have at least one of you who have signed up for it. But watch or join a unit, volunteer, and your support. Like we're looking for vehicles. We have Elvis, I'm heard, is going to come join us, and so we're hoping that we're going to find a Cadillac for him. But the excitement and magic of this year's Hawaii Island Veterans Day Parade is already building, and with your help, we'll be making a difference, one person at a time, for many years to come. So thank you again.
Thank you for your testimony.